Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about another piece of Star Wars lore, and in this case, we're going to be discussing how do hyperdrives work in Star Wars. But before we begin, please be sure to like and subscribe so you never miss a sci-fi video from us. Alright, how does hyperdrives work in Star Wars? We all know what a hyperdrive is. It is the really cool device that lets ships move super fast so they can go to places really quickly. And with that very brief summary, we learn nothing about how these devices actually work and what they do for the people in Star Wars. So we're going to go over a few of the key points so you can have a better understanding of why these devices are just so important to the Star Wars universe. The first and most basic point of a hyperdrive was that it allowed a ship to accelerate into basically another pocket universe. This would be hyperspace. Hyperspace didn't quite work like the regular Star Wars universe, and it allowed people to travel faster. So the whole point of getting a hyperdrive on board your ship was that you could get into hyperspace and travel much faster to distant locations. A hyperdrive also essentially worked as an anchor point. It allowed the ship to not only enter hyperspace, but to remain there for the duration of its journey. This was vital, as without it, any ship that would enter hyperspace would almost immediately be ejected out of the place, and then you'd have to go on regular engines to wherever you were going. This was both remarkably dangerous and remarkably slow within the context of the Star Wars universe. The third reason that hyperdrives were so popular was because of the fact that they encoded a ship's information upon entering hyperspace. This allowed them to be detectable and readable to other ships. This was important because it allowed the ship to be seen while it was in hyperspace, so they could be avoided when other ships were entering as well. Otherwise, you would end up with these huge crashes that could take out multiple ships and cost lives and a lot of money to people. This was actually very well known for being accidents in certain other eras where the technology was not as stable, and was a big turning point in the development of a lot of hyperdrives when this became stabilized. This encoding also helped to keep the ships in hyperspace itself, as entering and exiting hyperspace was a very abstract concept that required an actual shifting of the ship itself. So this was actually dual purpose. The last purpose of the hyperdrive and why it was so important is actually a function of how hyperspace worked within Star Wars. Hyperspace was essentially formed or segregated into hyperspace lanes, acting kind of like highways for the galaxy itself. This allowed the ships to bypass certain dangerous areas and have a very fast and speedy route to certain others that they wanted to get to. Most notably, jumping into hyperspace without using an official hyperspace lane carried with it the risk of actually running into A, other ships, or B, a star or planet. These celestial objects were large enough they could actually drag ships out of hyperspace, and then they would just crash into them. This ended up becoming one of the foundations of later Imperial technology, such as the Interdictor class, with the ability to use gravity to rip ships out of hyperspace. But for the time being, this is really what we know about hyperdrives. They were used to be able to enter hyperspace, keep ships going really quickly, and keep them safe. It was an essential part of the ship, and it was very rare to find a ship in Star Wars without them. I hope this helps you guys understand a little bit more about the Star Wars universe, and if you liked this, please be sure to like and subscribe, because we're going to be covering more Star Wars lore in the future. Alright, have a great day.